Hello and welcome back to Adas Garage. My name is Rasmus and today we're going to make a custom aluminium fuel cell for the BMW 2002. This is basically how it's going to look because I decided to make the frame so I know sort of how it's going to be, and I did some test fitting and decided that I had to cut out a piece of the floor here in the back, so I will have to make a custom piece now that is a little bit further down. And I also found some rust here in the corner that we need to repair. And also the plan is to have like an attachment on the top of the fuel cell where I have my fuel pump and like the measuring stick on how much fuel I have, and then a pipe that goes up to the fuel filler cap. Because I do not want to open the boot just to refuel the car. I want to like have a proper fuel filler cap here where I can refuel my car. So I have now done all of the preparations that I need to do to be able to put this together. I have made a top piece and a bottom piece, and all of this is made out of 3mm aluminium, so it is thick enough. And also I have made a couple of reinforcements for the 90-degree corners, one right here and one over here, and I will have to make one more for this corner over here. So yeah, I will go ahead and put in the bottom piece and then weld like the reinforcements. Now it is all welded together, and I have to say I'm not so proud over my reinforcements. The welding didn't turn out so great, but it doesn't matter because it's functional and no one will ever have to see except all of you watching this video. So but on the other side, I have to say I'm actually very satisfied with how the welding turned out. And we are now going to do the test if it will hold the fluid. This was just a small test to see if it can hold some water. When the lid is welded on and the fuel cell is completely done, I will pressurize the tank and see if it loses pressure. And for now we at least know it can hold some water. I will also make one more reinforcement before we weld the lid on the fuel cell. It will go from here to here and then from here to here, and they will be connected together in the middle. Here we have the pieces of aluminium that I will now weld into the fuel cell. Sorry that I didn't show you so much of making of them, but two simple pieces of aluminium that I have cut out these two on the bottom because this one is going to be fitted right here, so that we have somewhere for the fuel to travel through it. And when I have welded that one on there, I will then fit this one like this on top of it, and I made a little cut so this one will sort of slide over the other piece, something like this. We now have to clean up the areas where I will weld the reinforcements, and then we can go ahead and put them in. Yes, now the fuel cell is completely welded, and the welds turn out quite okay. And this is not the final hole that will be. I will have like a large oval shaped one on like there is on an actual fuel cell that you buy. This is just so that I can start to leak test it and pressure test it, so that we know for sure that we will not have any leaks. And now it's time to start making the pieces so that we can fit it into the car. And I'm thinking something like this, and then I will have to make 2 more pieces for that side and also this side. I have also customized the boot floor a little bit, because I wanted the fuel cell to be a little bit further back and to the side a bit more, because that will make it a lot easier to make a pipe that will go down into the fuel cell, so that we can refuel the car from the outside. And I'm sorry I didn't show you so much of when I remade the boot floor, but I just wanted to get it done as quickly as possible. But yeah, it wasn't so much that I did. I just cut it out and moved it a little bit and then welded it in again. So we can now go ahead and make the brackets for the fuel cell, and so that we can fit it to the car. The final pieces are now welded to the fuel tank. We have a complete edge all the way around. The edge isn't completely welded, it is just spot welded, but I will do a complete weld on it when I'm sure that this is how I want to locate the tank. And also I will have to figure out some way of bolting the tank to the chassis. And as you can see, I have raised the fuel tank a little bit in the back. So now it's not level with this beam anymore, so I will not be able to have a flat boot floor. So I'm actually thinking of removing the top of the fuel tank and remove some material, and then weld the lid back on, so that I will be able to have a flat boot floor. And now you're wondering why I sort of raised the tank, and that is because I do not want the tank to be visible from the outside. Of course you can be able to see it a little bit, but I do not want a big aluminium fuel tank hanging from underneath the car. But now you can only see just a little bit of it, but this, when you can just only see this much, I think it looks actually quite cool. And it follows the angle of the car. Before it would have started here and then went all the way down here, and that would not have been so cool to have a fuel tank visible from the back all the way down here. And also now it's following the spare wheel compartment, so it has sort of the same angle. It is leaning forward a little bit. And if we take a look from underneath the car here, I have to say I'm very happy with that I took the decision to do this, because now I will be able to have my fuel pumps, and I will be able to fit a good measuring unit, so that I will always know how much fuel I have inside of the fuel tank. And like I said, the fuel tank is at the same level as the spare wheel compartment. I have been very careful to measure that the fuel tank will not be the lowest point of the car. The fuel tank will still be a little bit higher up than the diff and the exhaust system and all of that. So yes, that will be enough with the fuel tank today. I will continue with the fuel tank later. I will now take some time to continue with the doors on the car. Like you remember, I have only fitted one door skin, and I will now go ahead and fit the second door skin. This door has been sandblasted. I just need to put some primer inside of it before I go ahead and weld the new door skin on it. this will be it for today's video, and as always, thank you for watching. Remember to subscribe, and if you want to see a more detailed description on how you change one of these door skins, check out this video right here.